Hey TK, how are you today? Rob
I am
Cesternino.
doing, I am doing okay. I'm making it, man. It's a rough night last night, but
I
we're
know,
making
but look, I'm
it.
happy to see you're smiling. This is
Oh yeah.
good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, it's an amazing experience. It's a great game. I mean, not too many people in this world can say they've played it. So I mean, you can't be mad about too much, man. It's an amazing experience overall. 10 out
Okay.
of 10.
Well, happy to have the chance to talk with you a little bit about the experience. I'd love to
Yeah.
start off talking about Gabe. And you, back in the first episode, you came up, you saw Gabe with like a rope on a string and a key, and you seemed like you knew like he had something going on there.
Yeah.
Then you, in this episode, you said like, "Look, I'm not feeling as good about Gabe."
Mhm.
But you seemed happy when he played the idol. So tell me about how you were feeling about Gabe.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that they didn't show between the relationship with Gabe and
Hey, that's
I.
what we're here for now.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely, Rob. I'm gonna give you guys some insight. So essentially, Gabe and I, there was really nothing between Gabe and I early on. I mean, Kyle and I connected fairly quickly, but I really didn't have the opportunity to really talk to everybody. When I got back from the challenge with Asia, the immediate response was, "Oh, it's a guy's thing. It's a bromance. It's whatever the case may be." So that hadn't even been the case at that point, but I feel like that almost forced me to have to communicate with Gabe a little bit more. Because the women were already like they have a bromance going on, and this was like a common theme that was happening throughout the upcoming days. So Gabe and I were talking, but Gabe didn't really talk to many people. You never really seen Gabe talk to anybody. He did a lot of running around, a lot of searching, a lot of grabbing firewood, those type of things. So the day that I caught him, we didn't have really a strong relationship to that point. We had mentioned like, hey, in passing, like, hey, man, if you want to work together, it'd be cool to work together. We're both from the same area. I went to school in Baltimore. You're from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of our connection. It would be really cool if we could work together. All our Maryland people would love for us to do it. So that was kind of our connector there. But once I seen him in the, this is the thing about it, Rob. Everybody's on the beach. I'm sitting on the campfire, like I'm sitting by the campfire by myself. I had literally just almost chopped my toe off with the machete, like maybe a couple hours before that. So my toe's like bleeding, so I'm like wrapping my toe with some tape and stuff. And I remember just hearing all this rustling around. I'm like, what the hell is going on back there? So I'm just gonna walk over and see what's happening. And I walk over and I catch Gabe, and he's ripping vines down, and he's doing all this stuff. And Gabe knew I was right there. It was only me and him at camp. He left me to go over there. So if he knew he was going to do this, or he found this, if he wanted me to be a part of it, he'd be like, "Hey, TK, come over here real quick." But he didn't. So that was my first insight into the fact that Gabe doesn't really want to work with me full on. I think I'm more of an option for him as opposed to his number one or number two. I don't think he's looking at me as a long term thing. And I think at that point, that's when I started trying to paint this target on Gabe as, guys, this is the threat. This is the threat. So I went and let Kyle know, like, hey, Gabe has an idol. Just want to let you know he has an idol. Because I already knew what was going on. And the fact, there's also a point there, Rob, where Gabe comes up to me. Kyle and I are hunting for crab one day. And Gabe comes up to me and he taps me and he like pulls me to the side. He's like, I just want to let you know, still haven't found that idol yet. I'm still looking for the box. We only got the key. At this point, I know you're lying to me and you're still keeping the lie going. I
Yeah.
didn't even ask you about it. So it's like, if you're that intentional about it, and there was nothing genuine coming from him when he said it, I was like, oh man, this guy's a player. He's out here. He's playing the game aggressive. I don't think I can work with somebody who's operating that way. So I immediately started looking for exit plans. But at this point, you need 4 for that first vote. So I really didn't have many options because Sue and Caroline were a well-known pair to this point. So I didn't really have many options but Gabe. So
Okay. Then after the challenge, it seems like there's the misunderstanding between you and Tiana. And it seems like then afterwards you come back and it feels like that you are having an understanding after the challenge. Can you just talk about where you thought things were with Tiana going into tribal?
yeah, so I'll give you a little bit more insight even into that because
We
that was
appreciate it.
there was a
Yeah.
lot there was a lot that happened with that entire thing. So I'll just break it down to you from the actual challenge itself. So from the challenge itself, we're competing. The reason I was so upset, Rob, is that when we're playing this game, it's me, it's Gabe in the middle, it's me on the right. So we're playing the game, we're trying to get past these little holes in the platform. We fall at the same exact point every single time. So I realize exactly what we need to do to get around it. So I'm like, Gabe, I know what we need to do. This is how we need to attack this. When we get to this point, this is what we need to do. Gabe literally looks at me and says, one voice. I'm the only voice that should be talking. Everybody needs to listen to me. This is how we're doing it. And I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a game that takes a lot of communication. We need to work together as a team. And he was just not open to that. And even at one point during the challenge, Kyle is like, Gabe, man, you maybe we should listen to TK. He has a different vantage point from you on that side. He might be able to see something. So a lot of my frustration was actually built up for the fact that Gabe wasn't being a team player and none of my team called him out about it. And
Yeah.
everybody heard him and nobody called him out about it. So when we got back to the island, myself, Tiana, and Kyle are sitting in the ocean. And I tell Tiana and Kyle, I said, listen, guys, Gabe has an idol. We need to get him to play this idol today. So I'm going to call Gabe down here and I'm going to lay into Gabe like, you're the reason we lost this chat. I can't believe, like, I'm not going to go crazy, but I'm going to let him know, like, Gabe, you really dropped the ball on this. The communication was bad. We really got to step this up. I just want him to feel like there's heat there. And I'm letting them know, hey, everybody knows about your idol. Everybody knows you're a player. Now you're doing this in a challenge. People are talking about it. And I just want him to want to play his idol because he's like, there's no way I'm making it past this without getting a vote. So I tell Tiana, hey, I'm going to do this. So Tiana, I'm like, Tiana, you go talk to the girls, gauge what they're thinking. We'll reconvene in a few. Tiana goes and talks to the girls. Gabe comes right down, right on time. I do exactly what I said. Gabe, you really dropped the ball on this. He's like, I know, man. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I should have listened. I definitely messed up. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's all good. But I'm just letting you know, like, moving forward, we can't do that. That little thing of me saying it's all good, I don't know what went through Kyle's mind, but he went to Tiana and said, hey, Tiana, we're straight. TK just apologized to Gabe about what happened at the challenge. And Tiana's like, wait, why would he apologize to Gabe? If we're supposed to be a 3, he didn't apologize to me. Why would he apologize to Gabe?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I never apologized to Gabe.
Yeah.
So Kyle comes down to me after I'm sorry, Rob. I don't know if you had
No,
something,
and that's what we saw in the episode then, right? When he's saying that, okay, well, then I think you should go apologize to her.
Yeah. And he's really more saying, I need to apologize. Like, as in
Yeah.
Kyle, he's like, I need to apologize to Tiana because I didn't mean to set this up this way. So he's like, let me go grab T and let her know what happened. So he goes and grabs her. And I'm like, Tiana, I never apologized. But in my mind, I told Kyle, the moment you said that, she's probably up there telling them right now, there's a bromance. That's the thing. It's the 3 guys and me. There's no point in me working with them. I'm the 4 over there. And really, in reality, that wasn't the case. I told Kyle the whole plan. So when Kyle told her that, that's what really made Tiana blow up, where she's like, I can't believe it. So when we had that conversation, that was me trying to smooth over what Kyle had started, because I'm telling Tiana, like, hey, never apologize to him, but I will apologize to you if I made you feel any type of way there. I didn't mean that intentionally. I never mentioned you in, like, particularly. I was speaking in general as a tribe. I don't think anybody should be smiling after we just lost an immunity challenge and lost the opportunity to get fishing gear, and somebody's going home in their dreams ending the night.
Yeah.
Why are we smiling? You know, so that was my
right. TK, are you saying at all that you think Gabe threw the challenge, or he just had a different way of looking at it than you did?
That's a hard one. I've been actually battling with myself on that, Rob. I don't know if he threw the challenge or if he just wanted that to be a moment that was about him. I don't know if he just wanted to, because when we were even picking like who would be where in the challenge, Gabe was like, I need to be middle. I want to be middle. Like, he made it a point to be in the middle. So I don't know if he just wanted that to be a challenge where he was the focal point. And if we had won, it would have been a Gabe episode. You know what I mean? So I'm not really sure if it was that or if it was, I want to throw this thing to get this big player out of the game, because I was absolutely telling people how Gabe was playing the game because I didn't trust him and I didn't want him in the game, because anybody playing that crazy is not safe for me. So
okay. TK, I'd love to get your reaction to Sue. Did you have any idea that Sue felt the way that she felt about you?
Yes. Sue gave me the vibe that she was not a fan of mine from the moment I touched foot on the island. I just don't think that she was very open to communicating with me. I understand that a lot of people come from a lot of different backgrounds and they may not mesh, but she didn't seem very open to communicate with me. I tried on multiple occasions. There's one moment we were all, the first day after I got the supplies for us and I come back, I miss all the intros because I'm not there. So I don't know anybody's life story, any of that. So I'm like, hey guys, did you guys do your intros and like introduce each other? They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I would love to hear them. I would love to know everybody's life story. So everybody's going down the line saying their life story, and it gets to Sue. And I'm like, Sue, so tell me yours. She's like, I already told everybody. And I'm like, well, Sue, I wasn't here. And she's like, I don't feel like talking about it again. And it's just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, you're not even hiding the fact that you don't want to talk to me. And I don't know if that's because of she already had something locked in with Gabe, and maybe she felt like there wasn't a need to communicate with me, or if it was just she came in like, I don't want to work with this person. I'm not sure, but it just didn't feel like she ever wanted to attempt to have any type of vibe with me. So I was not surprised that Sue felt the way that she felt when I seen that. So,
Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Kyle?
yeah. Yeah, Kyle's my guy, man. Kyle was my guy. That was my only real friend out there, I think.
He was very sad when you got voted out.
Yeah, that was good to see too, man. Because I mean, it didn't seem like anybody else was. So it was good that Kyle was, he actually had my back there, because there was a lot of people who were saying things about me. And I think Kyle's the only person who truly took the time to get to know me at all. So Kyle knew a lot about me that a lot of people probably didn't know. So Kyle just had a totally different vantage point of me. I think Gabe wasn't really that big of a talker in general socially. He just really only talked strategy, and we never seen him talk strategy because he never talked to Sue or Caroline in front of us. So we just thought Gabe wasn't a talker at all. So Kyle was kind of my person that we just talked about life all the time. So we really got close, and I realized very quickly he was the only person I had out there. And it just made it tough to try to maneuver when you only really have one person who has your back.
So we saw last week that you volunteered to go on the mission to win the supplies for the camp. First off, can you just explain? I was a little confused about the rock, paper, scissors thing and what you did there. Could you just tell us about that real quick?
Yeah, totally. There's people who are speculating that I did that on purpose. That was not on purpose. It was totally an accident. Actually, what happened was, I don't know if you could tell, Rob, but I had significantly more mud on me than anybody else. I went through the mud twice. I went through the first time, got my piece, went through again to help Tiana with her piece. So there's mud all in my eyes, all in my ears. Medical had to help me before we even talked to Jeff, just try to get some of this stuff out of my eyes. So I just have a lot going on at this moment. And they're making this plan, and all I heard was rock, paper, scissors. We're playing rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins is gonna go. That's what I'm thinking. So when we do it and they're like, "Oh, you just heard us say we're doing it," I was like, "Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to that. We got a million things going on. I got mud in my eyes, mud in my ears.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm all hyped up on Mountain Dew. I'm ready to go." So that was what it was.
Okay, I got it. I thought that maybe you wanted to go. And then you go there, and then you and Aysha are going back and forth, and you get to the water first. How surprised were you that Aysha tried to wrestle the key away from you?
Well, I do want to say, Rob, I did want to go on the challenge. Don't get me wrong.
Got it.
I did want to go. But once we got there, yeah, that really like showed me something about Aysha. And honestly, that made me like Aysha even more. Cause I'm like, oh, Aysha has that dog in her. Like, she's a competitor. Yeah. And that's the type of people I want to work with. So I let her know that too.
Well, you had said in the preseason that she was somebody that you had wanted to work with. Was there any sort of like talk about, hey, like let's do something if we meet up?
Absolutely. The first thing I told Aysha was what my plan was about when I met her. If I ever got the chance to meet her, I said, we got to do this locked in thing. Everybody's expecting it. I've been telling all my friends, like, this is what I'm going to do. If I meet somebody who has locks, we got to do this. And she's like, oh, I'm so down. You're so cool. And we're having this conversation before we play. Yeah. Now, obviously, after we play, Aysha's a little frustrated, but I give her a big hug and I just let her know, like, Aysha, if we both make it to the merge, I don't care what just happened here. You're an amazing competitor, amazing person. I hope we have the opportunity to work together. I would love to do something with you. And she agreed and shared the same sentiments. We actually had a lot in common. Yeah. Her mom actually has the same kidney disease that I have, which is crazy. So we have so much in common that we would have connected ASAP had we been together. So I think that just kind of showed.
Yeah. Well, TK, you have an incredible story, great attitude after this whole experience. Anything else you want to let people know real quick?
No, I hope that people understand that that moment of me just showing some emotion there wasn't a moment of bullying anybody or telling anybody they're a loser or anything like that. I just need people to understand that this is me being a competitor and just hate the idea of losing. And I want my team to hate the idea of losing as well. That makes a really strong team and bond there. So that's what I was getting at. But overall, great experience. Loved it. And yeah, I would do it again 100%.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, TK. All the best to you outside the show, okay?
Thanks, Rob.
Appreciate it. All right, take care. Bye.